All right, here we go.
So tell what the thing is about.
So let's see. All right. So anyway,
We're
in the
doing an
car
emergency
on our
show.
way to Daytona, and we were talking about here's yes, emergency show because here's the thing. My daughter once is going to
Shit, I need to turn my
Atlanta to a birthday party that a friend is giving. And she has never met this friend in person. She met this friend online. It's a female. Been friends with her online for 5 years. Um, my daughter is homeschooled, so she's homeschooled. Been homeschooled all her life. She's in college now. She's 18. Um, and again, her and this girl been friends since about 13, and I've spoken to the girl on FaceTime and the girl's mother. Anyway, she asked a while ago if she can go to her friend's birthday party. I told her if only if her older sister went with her, who is, how old is her, right? 25?
25, 26
She's
on.
25. Older sister agreed to drive her down there. They're gonna get her and her sister will get a hotel together. She'll drop her off at the party, the event, and then they'll stay in the hotel together. So anyway, my husband was asking why, we start talking about trust. That out of that came this discussion about trust, and he was saying like he doesn't trust people like that, and basically because people are weird these days, which they are. But my counter to him was like, yeah, but when you homeschool kids, it's a totally different scenario. Not only that, but that we as adults and just people in general just give trust to people too easily. He's always told me that he just automatically gives trust. I told him that people have to earn trust from me. And so I was telling him like him giving trust is not really actually a good thing either. Like he just gives trust to people, even at times, circumstances when he shouldn't be. And the examination is whether or not we're using the criteria, what criteria we should be using when we're saying people need to earn trust from us. And do we even evaluate, or do we just arbitrarily apply trust to people depending on circumstances? So anyway,
All
he
right,
was
and
responding to me because I told him that I didn't understand how he
yeah,
didn't trust someone to handle business affairs, but trusted them enough to believe that they were using appropriate whatever they should have been using when
birth
they
control
birth
methods.
control methods when he found out they were not. But anyway,
All right, so my response is this. I think it's two different scenarios, kind of all, and as well as I understand what you're saying. But to me, uh, obviously, I didn't trust certain people enough to let them know my financial history because what I thought I was looking forward or looking down the line, believing that we may not be together and they could try to use that against me. Uh, God forbid if anything happened like what happened to me as far as the child support and everything else. And because I just believe that they were a devious person when it came to that part of their life. So no, I didn't trust them there. As far as and your response to that is, or her response was about, well, how do you trust somebody like that? My thing is with our daughter, it's like, okay, yeah, she been knowing the girl 5 years, you never met her, then we going to Atlanta. To me personally, shoot, that's kind of putting Zariah in a position too, the oldest daughter, because if she go down there and then that girl may be a great girl, but her friends may be trash. And then the people that her friends are around end up getting, into something or something crazy happened, and now it's the friends that cause the issue. So that was just my stance on that. And I was trusting somebody that, like, from what you said, then I shouldn't trust you.
no, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you can't trust me with certain aspects of your life, this is what I don't understand. You have people that say like, well, I
But
can't trust you doing this, I can't trust you doing that. But then and this is another discussion because maybe we just don't value our bodies like that. Because if you don't, again, if you don't trust someone to handle, if you don't trust somebody to say, hey, can you take this check to the bank for me? Or can you go pick up this check for me? Or can you do this for me, deposit this check for me? How then are you trusting having being intimate with that person?
yeah,
Because
because
I mean that's to me a person who earns that intimacy with you should have the highest level of trust with
what
you.
did you go back to what you
Because
said?
so now it goes back to this whole why are we devaluing ourselves and our bodies so much that we're placing absolutely no value. Matter of fact, and then if you're going to trust them to do that, you're not going to trust them to go to the bank, but you're going to trust them with, again, them saying, hey, I'm on birth control. When that could result in something that's lifelong.
Yeah, well, so it goes back again to the world that we live in. That's why I think it's two different sides of the coin to an extent, because it goes back to I only trusted that individual so far, and I trusted on my life experiences of what I knew worked as birth control. Now I didn't think no way. I didn't think nowhere in hell trusted the individual enough to know or thought that they would stay on the Moreno. So I didn't think or didn't that person didn't show me any indications, or I haven't heard anything from that person saying that they came off birth control before this and the third. I didn't think that particular individual would do that. So yes, I trusted him with that.
But you didn't
What?
trust
Hold
the
on,
money.
no, and because
That's the
whoa,
thing.
and the reason why, because she had showed me uh 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 signs of what she would do for money. So I already knew what type of person she was when it came to money, if that made any
But you
sense.
already knew
So
what type of
like
person she
okay,
was with regards to child support too, because you said that's what she said she was raised off of believing.
yes,
So if
so
that's the case, then why would you trust that she was on birth control? If she was raised
because
to
I
believe like, hey, your thing is to find an older man or to live off of child support or to do this and that, then I wouldn't trust her in any respect
well
if it
I
came to that.
think I was trusting what I thought was right, meaning I've seen the Morena work before. Uh I didn't trust her to go get it by herself.
But see,
So
that's my point.
so I went with her, right? Now, never in I also didn't think that she would not uh not I mean I didn't think she would go have it taken out neither. I didn't think that. She never told me nowhere that she's done this, that, and
But
the
if you,
third.
but that's my point. See, somebody, this is the thing with trust. A person shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to show you that you can't trust them. That's the thing. Like I think what's
Well,
bad. That's backwards. Like what you're saying is like, oh, well, she didn't show me that she would take it out, but I didn't trust her enough to go for her to go get it by herself. Huh? That doesn't make sense because if you think about it, if you can't trust a
well,
person to go get something by themselves, and actually that means you don't trust you thinking in your back of your mind like
yes,
they may
absolutely.
say they own it, but they not really own it. If they can do that, what makes you think that they wouldn't put it in and take it out? If you think a person would lie to you and say, hey, I wouldn't put this in, but they didn't really put it in, then in some respects you have to think like,
So
okay,
okay,
they're
watch
devious enough
this.
to have a kid on purpose. So then why would you think that they wouldn't take it out? But my point is, I think men, I don't, and women too, but men to a different degree, right? Because men, I think, trust women in particular because y'all think y'all feel a certain way, or because y'all think y'all have a certain y'all can exercise a certain amount of control over them. Y'all do too much trusting when it comes to women.
Well,
Because I had, and this is my point.
well, before you, because I don't forget
Okay.
this. To your point about taking it out, I think my trust things came from things that I experienced, especially in that specific instance. Meaning, I had somebody tell me before that they were on birth control and they wasn't. So I thought that person was the same type of person that would lie about being on it or not taking it. That's when they said they'll take the pill. I was like, nah, we ain't doing that, because I didn't think that they would do that. I didn't think that they would consistently tell the truth about taking the pill. So by them saying, hey, I'll go, or me suggesting go get on a Mirena, and then I take them because I didn't believe, because of what happened to me before when somebody said, oh, I'm on birth control. I didn't believe that they would do it. So I said to myself, well, I'll take her. If I take her to go get it, then I know she got it, right? I didn't she would take it out and then lie about it.
But and see, but
So that's
that's the
part, yeah.
problem. Like
But now, hold on, let me finish this, because now none of that could ever happen to me again.
because it's the thing. So why does certain things? That's my point. Like the way that particularly like how you do the trust thing. I don't know if it's some other people or men out there that do it like that. Like that's strange to me because it's like again, I feel like if I can't trust a dude, and I'm like, oh well, let's for example, if guys were on birth control, and I can't trust you to take your birth control bill. The only thing I can maybe trust you with, maybe if I took you to get your vasectomy, right? And I'm still not gonna trust you because I don't know if you didn't went back and had it reversed.
Well, I'm
So I'm
pretty.
still gonna take precautions because my thing, if I can't trust you to take your birth control pill or get your
Oh boy,
vasectomy,
now
like
you
you
going down
said,
a whole nother
no,
alley now.
listen. If I can't trust you to do that, then that means I have some type of inclination in my mind that you may want to try to trick me up and get me pregnant and then sue me for child support. And if I'm
So
thinking in
you
that
ain't
way, I'm thinking down the lines of what all techniques may you use to do that?
well
So I'm not
that
about to trust you
so
with any
that's
aspect of that.
now again we now we're going into a how people think different. I mean, how
Okay,
people think
but let
different.
me finish though. But let me finish though. So this is my thing. And Jay, I don't understand how y'all in the military said that you could trust somebody with their life, but not with your wife. Because my thing is like, if you can't trust them with your wife, how's it that you can trust them with your life? Because I look at things like if you tell a white lie, then that means you'll tell a bigger lie. That's how I judge things. I judge if you're not willing to take repercussions for something that's smaller or seemingly less significant than the bigger thing, then I can't trust you with that smaller thing either, if that makes sense. So like I don't look at, oh well, if you I can trust you with my life, but I can't trust you with my spouse. Like no, to me it would be the reverse. Like I don't understand that. Like if I can't, I'm basing myself. If I can't trust you with my spouse, I know sure as hell that I can't trust you with my life because shoot, you may kill me so that you can get back to my spouse. Y'all must have forgot about David in the Bible, what he did, right? Like he killed a whole dude in the military just so the dude wouldn't find out that his wife was pregnant by him.
So I tell you
So
this.
like, why would you trust somebody like that?
I think that women, and we've had this discussion, or just recently had it. Women think about this. Is what
What
I
is it,
think.
JB gonna lie anyway?
Anyway, I think people I think women think deeper about things than men, right? So I I don't know how many men would think of, and I'm pretty sure it is a lot. Coming from my background and me personally, and the people that I hang around would think more of down the or hung around would think more down the aisles or the lines of, of what I was saying. Somebody like Trey gonna think differently because yeah, he come from a background where he's a more in-depth thinker and intellectual person than I am, and that's just to be honest. So he would think about all those repercussions. What I was thinking about was me in the moment, how to protect me right then. Wasn't thinking long term with that because it really never happened to me. You get what I'm saying? So the character of that individual was like, yeah, she could do this, but I don't think she'll do that. And it was kind of iffy, but it was more of, yeah, they won't do it. And I'll go to you
Or
for
does it go with just women though?
well, I'll
Because
go.
I think
Well,
it's with men and women.
then it's the same. Then it's the same with you because I trust you with everything I have. Because I don't. You haven't shown me any characteristics from being married and child support things and money things and all of this of in your past that you would do something as far even like what you having when you got your divorce, the things that you told me about and what you got out of that or what you didn't get out of that, whatever. It's like, okay, well, yeah, she wouldn't do that. So yeah, I trust you like that. So I would tell you everything what I make
No, I
and
get
this, that,
that,
and
but
the
I'm saying
third.
for
You ever
somebody
told
who
you
has
got hold on, baby. You got 8 kids by one man. I would you wouldn't nothing of you say that you would do what that individual did to me. So then I'm gonna trust you with everything when it comes to
but
that.
then I haven't shown you any characteristics that would be aligned to that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you piecemealing it? Like you'll piecemeal. Oh well,
I don't know why.
they
Right,
show me that they steal
right.
money, but they've never shown me that they cheated. So I ain't gonna
I,
say that they cheat you because
that's
they
a good
steal money.
point.
Like that's crazy. Like you're piecemealing some stuff together, and I don't know if I think women are different in that respect. I think men can show women now whether or not they continue with them is totally different, right? Because they'll stay with somebody and still not trust them, and that's what leads to all the stress and emotional distress too. Because now they constantly checking their phone stuff. But I think a man got one time to do something shady with a woman with respect to anything, and now they didn't just blown trust. Period. So now they questioning everything that man does, if that makes sense. So he can do one thing, flirt with a woman, right, and get caught. Be flirting, ain't never cheated before, but now she's gonna distrust him with respect to all of that. Whereas you, from what you're saying, oh well, I'll just make sure the person doesn't cheat, doesn't flirt anymore, but that doesn't mean they're gonna cheat.
No, I
I
wouldn't
never.
do that one.
I mean, I'm just trying to.
Those are two
I
of the
know, but
same things.
I'm just trying to give like an example of how you
I hear
are.
you.
Um, And the thing is, what I'm saying about, especially with men, is because you can have an abusive guy, and again, like I don't know if it's just a man thing, or if it's just a controlling thing, or if it's just a narcissistic thing, or if it's like just like again like a man thing, and like sometimes men have aspects of them that are a little bit controlling and little bit narcissistic, but it's not to the point where they have like narcissistic personality disorder. But you can have a man that's doing everything wrong to a woman, cheating on her, abusing her, blah blah blah. But then he'll sit there and lay in the bed with now, and she may know that he's doing this stuff, and he knows that she know. But then he'll lay in the bed and sleep comfortably next to her, like she's not gonna do anything to him. Who does that? You can't tell me not one woman that is bold enough to dog a man out, completely dog him out, and that man know that she done dogged him out, and then she think, well, you may have some narcissistic women that do that, but I'm just saying very rare. And she think that she gonna sleep with, and she gonna sleep with both eyes closed next to him every night. She not about to do that. A
That,
man will do that, then let a woman shave with a razor blade, shave him. I
yeah.
don't know if a woman gonna trust a dude to do that.
I don't, first of all, I ain't gonna try. As much as I love you, I ain't trusting you to shave me.
Well, you know, I
Not,
mean, I
not.
gotta shake your hand.
That's what I'm saying. Hell, I don't even trust my barber to do that. Really.
But
Like,
I'm
hold on,
just
dog.
saying, like, you got me. The Color Purple was a prime example of that. Remember, have you ever watched that movie? I watched it like one time. I
Yeah.
really like it. But Danny Glover was like, you know how he was in that movie where he was abusive and everything else would be Glover, right? And then she was like shaving a razor, and he was like, "You better not cut me." But the fact that he was like thought so highly of himself, or I don't know what the hell, he believed and knew that she wasn't gonna cut him. When all she had to do was one flick, and his
But you
arteries
know what's
been
crazy
gone.
to your point? Absolutely. But he thought about it though. So he didn't 100% trust her like you saying, because he thought about it like, you know what? You better not cut me, because I guess he was thinking about all the crap he did. I would have never thought about it.
But that's my point.
It just comes with a comfortability level, because if you done something to somebody so many times, then and they haven't snapped yet, or they still with you, then you expect them to keep taking it until that point of them snapping, and you never know when that point is going to be. But
So then again, going back to like even with my daughter, the thing is, how can we expect more from our kids and our offspring as far as trust goes when we out here just haphazardly giving trust to people in areas that we shouldn't be giving them trust?
mm,
And that's something we should be thinking about.
I just, yeah, I
We
get
should
what you're
truly
saying.
be thinking about that. Like,
I just ain't gonna meet. That's like I've
if
never
they're trusting friends like this, they would have more reason to
watched.
trust a friend like that because they ain't necessarily did nothing to them. They ain't necessarily
But
dogged them out. They ain't
but
going with
do
them. They ain't got no
and
romantic interest in them.
and again, do they know who friends with some with sometimes a lot of times it's not the friend, it's the other people. So when you call somebody a friend, you should know pretty much, you know, everything about their lives, right? But you don't like you, if you don't know who your friends are, like I use Trey again, right? I know the type of people Trey hang out with, and I also know that he's not gonna hang out with people that's about too much mess, too much drama. That's not in a place that elevates, or that he can look to for elevation or something like that. So those are the type of people that he hang around, and not boring and fun people as well. Like he ain't gonna hang around no boring people with whatever. So if I know that about him, so he like, hey, I'm gonna go here, this, that, and the third. I'll be like, all right, let's go. I'm not really concerned about who he's gonna be around. I'll use D for instance. D hangs out with my brother. He hangs out with a lot of people that I don't really care too much about, and I know he don't care too much about. I mean, and I don't really, as far as hanging around. So it's a different type of thing. But my point is, I know who the people are that he hang around. You know what I'm saying? So if I wouldn't have known that if I'm just talking to you on the phone and
Well,
never
that's not
met you.
necessarily true because sometimes you can learn a lot by your friends when you talk to them on the phone because they'll say, "Yeah, I got this friend that did this and that, and they stole blah blah blah." So they tell who their friends are and what their friends are doing all the time. Because actually, my daughter has told me like she's had friends. that she even met up at work that had other friends and they were talking about, oh, well, they all got together and did this. And she was like, Mommy, that's wrong, right? Like, they shouldn't be hanging with people like that. I'm like, no, they shouldn't be. Like, that's crazy. So you can find out who their friends are by talking to them. Matter of fact, I would I would say that talking to somebody on the phone, matter of fact, this is another conversation we had because, oh, this is so deep. I think you can learn a lot more by spending time with people on the phone and through FaceTiming them all the time over a span of 5 years. And can sometimes being with that person physically in a year or 2 years. Because when you're on the phone and when you're on FaceTime, you're talking about things that you normally probably wouldn't even talk about when y'all hanging out because you at the mall, you at the movies, you doing this, you ain't got time to talk, have those type of in-depth conversations. And this goes back to somebody that was in a group talking about his relationship with a woman. And he was saying that we spent a whole month on the phone talking. I've been on a date with her once, and he was the details of the rest of it that was going on was kind of deep. So I don't want to get into all of it right now. But people were trying to say, well, you only been talking to her on the phone for a month and you expected her to do this and that. And they've been having lengthy conversations on the phone for months. So
Yeah, he was telling a bunch of lies.
somebody else said, look, talking on the phone to someone can be a very intimate process, more so than going on a date with them. And I agree.
Yeah, okay,
You
so
can
then,
learn a lot from somebody by spending quality time on the phone, not texting, on the phone, talking to them.
and again, you don't know who somebody else's friends are. You go somewhere, and then your friend is your friend, and you know that this, of course, you're not that person's other friend. So now you go somewhere, and then you get into an altercation, and then this other person, maybe you may be cool with the person for 2 years, and this other person cool with the person their whole life, and then something happens, you get into a situation with the other person, and then your friend takes the other person's side.
Okay, so how can, what keeps that from happening if you meet the person in person? Because
Because you
sometimes
can
you can be,
spend time around them, and you know how that other you
you
know.
don't know, I don't know if I can spend all the time I want to around you.
That
And
means
spend,
you done been around that other person
no,
too as
I ain't never,
well.
no, I ain't necessarily had to have been around your friends that spend time with you. I've not necessarily been around your
All right,
friends.
so let's use
My
this.
friend Patricia, I've spent very little time with any of her friends. And I used to hang out with her all the time. And then she would sometimes go out with friends of her that I've never even met. I don't know who all her friends are
And my
or
point to
have
you
intimate
is, and my point to you
knowledge
is,
into who her friends are.
if you got into it, one of those people, and Patricia was closer to you than one of those people. I mean, closer to either you than the other, or closer to the other person than you. The next thing you know, y'all get into it. What happens when you
But that
know?
can happen regardless. So I think that can happen regardless. The most important thing is knowing the character of the person that you're dealing with. Because if the character is where it should be, regardless of who they've known the longest,
So you
they're
don't think you
going to
gotta?
intervene and say, hey, we're not going to do this today.
Yeah, I don't need you to intervene. I need you to help me beat that person ass.
No, but I'm just saying, ain't okay. You can't even say that if you was with with Trey's friends, one of his kickboxing people, and you and them got into it, Trey gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna help you beat their ass." He gonna intervene and be like, "No, y'all need to be doing this." That's what he's gonna say. He's not gonna take either side because that's the type of person he is. Because you know his character. So that's my point. My point is you have to know the character of the person that you're dealing with more so than anything about their friends. Because if you know their character, you know that they then know you as well. They're not going to take you into any shady situations. And then when they have you hanging around their friends, sometimes they even go as far as saying, well, I ain't going to take them around this group of friends of mine because I know that they probably ain't going to jail with them. But if they do happen to think that you may jail with a group of friends that you don't end up gelling with, if anything go down, they're not going to take either side. They're going to stop it and say, okay, we're not gonna do this. We all of us need to go home because this is not what should be happening. That's what they're gonna do. They're not gonna jump in and, well, I've been knowing this person 3 years. I only known you 1 year, so I'm gonna jump in and fight with you. They're not about to do that unless somebody is now if somebody is totally out of line. They may do that, but then I don't see if you know the character of your friend that they hang with somebody like that though. And that's my point.
So
You have to know the person you're dealing with
mhm.
more so than anything else. Not necessarily their friends. You have to know them.
I agree to that too. But I tell you this is also you're right, 100%. I use trade and I use D. Uh, Actually, I don't even know about that now. I don't know. I know the character of me. If that happened, if I feel as though, and I call me messed up if you want to, I feel as though that me and you been cool longer than person X Y Z, and then we done been through wars and did this together and that together, and you just met this person, and you damn right. I'm going. If you ain't on my side, then nigga, you on their side. So at that point, then I'm not gonna be friends with you no
But
more. You
that's
better not
crazy to think
jump
of
in
it
there.
that
Well,
way.
that's how I am. That's the
Okay,
reason
but
I
you
only got
that's
two
like
friends.
okay, but that's okay. So take your two friends that you do know, and they y'all meet up somewhere, y'all having a good time, then they get into it. You not about to just be
I'm riding regardless.
you riding with who?
Trey or D, either one of them, I'm riding
I
regardless.
just said if Trey and D got into it, you gonna tell me, well, because I've been knowing D longer, I'm gonna go against Trey.
I probably would choose Trey
Why would you have to choose either one of them?
because
D is your brother.
that absolutely.
But
Well,
that's my point. My point
well,
is your thing would be like, no, I'm gonna keep the peace because I don't need
now
you
I'm not
out here.
actually. I
I don't
wouldn't.
need
When
you
I
out
say,
here
well, let me
fighting,
say this.
and
I
I'm just
would.
not gonna have y'all around each other no more unless somebody did something really effed up to the other person. That's what I'm saying.
In that situation, I'll to your point, right? I'll give you a better scenario than Trey and D. Actually, I couldn't choose between them.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. No, I'm telling between Trey and D
Yeah,
because these are two people.
yeah,
So
and D's a lifelong friend.
okay,
And Trey, I've seen like I've known him all my life. So
okay.
that's however, uh, that's one reason. But because they're like oil and water, I mean, we all hung out together. Uh, but I also hold on, I don't want this truck to hit me. I also limit, like you said, to your point, limit the times how often uh, we all hung out together, right? But even on that, but just because I don't want that to happen, what you said, that situation, because I don't want to be put in that situation,
I get that, but I'm
right?
saying
Hold on. So you're 100% right. The person will have to choose side, and I was put in that situation with Brad and D, and been knowing both of them dudes. I was knowing Brad, but I chose D just because of how his like was. So I choose Damien all day long, right? So on the same token,
where somebody is having an event and
I'm
they're inviting friends from all their spots. Like we had our engagement party, and Dee was there, and Trey was there. Even though like they don't really get that all like oil and water, like you said, they were both there. We're talking about an event that somebody's having. I'm not talking about somebody having you come to hang with your friends all the time that they don't get along with. That's silly. But if you're having an event such as this girl's birthday party, and she happened to have some friends that they may not mix with Zamara like that. You're trying to tell me that if she feels like she knows Amara like that and she knows her friends like that, she doesn't have the capability to say, okay, yeah, we're not finna do this. This is my birthday party. We didn't come here to fight. Y'all just both go home.
yeah, but see, this is what we're talking about. Yes, 110%. I agree with you, but then we also talking about young adults. I'm not talking about Zamara. Again, it's not knowing the other people.
Oh no, I get that, but
So
we're just talking about okay, but we're talking about generally though, Jermaine, because you put that in the front. But I'm saying no, look at the bigger picture.
But the bigger picture is the age difference help with that too, though. When you make those decisions.
Okay, and some people are very mature, especially homeschool people, for their age.
The other girl homeschool.
Yep, and they're very mature for their age sometimes. A lot of times. More mature than we were at their age.
I know everybody was more mature than me.
So I'm saying, like, it depends on the character of the people that you're dealing with. Yes, age plays a role in that. But these type of situations, like someone said, it's called growth. Everybody has evolved. Yes, that's true. And these things happen every day. You're going to have friends that don't necessarily get along with each other. You don't put them in the same situation all the time.
I think that's harder for young adults.
But it's time, like there's time when you have things like special events and stuff. It's not harder for you. Because I remember even when I was younger, to be honest, where if we were going to certain things, it'd be like, yeah, we ain't finna tell someone we going because she don't get along with someone. So me, blah, 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 blah. And then we do something with the other person, man, we ain't finna tell someone because they don't really get along. And we don't want to deal with that tonight.
I wonder how much of that is.
So we don't. But like if we talking about trust, I mean, I think like as adults though, just the same amount of trust and insight that we're expecting our kids to have with regards to our friends, we should be having that about the people that we're dealing with. Because a lot of times we don't apply that at all. We
Yes.
making dumb mistakes. We talking about whether or not they're gonna get in a fight. We making mistakes where we got 18 years with the kids that we ain't gonna. I mean, sure, I'd rather you get in a fight and survive it than that.
That's the part I'm worried about, the death part. I don't care if you get beat up in the fight. I'm worried about you coming back home.
Right, I get that, but I'm just saying. we run around. Well, and even to that point
Okay,
though,
but so
we
with
run
me,
around
hold
with
on,
people
look.
that we can't trust, and niggas coming into their house. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean say niggas, but dudes coming into their house, ninjas coming into their house in the middle of the night, shooting them up,
Yeah,
killing them.
no, no. I rather
So we run around cheating with people.
so I just think when it comes to that though, what we were talking about originally was that I think it's when you love somebody or you're in a relationship with somebody. Well, for me, let me say for me, being in a relationship with somebody, I judge that person on one what I've been through prior, all negative connotations that I have. For instance, I'll use I didn't believe in marriage or thought marriage was this, that, and the third, but the two people that I've been married to had no past background on child support, alimony, uh, or even if the child support was ordered, stressing over the child support or stressing over the alimony or whatever. To me, that shows the type of character that that person has. So, i.e., you, it wasn't no problem for me to be like, you know what, yeah, she's a great woman, yada yada yada. Hell, you know what I used to say all the time: if we don't make it, I wasn't worried about that or protecting myself in the future because it's like, yo, you make just as much more money than me, so how in the hell I'm worried about paying alimony? You, you didn't.